KD for the Wealth Wells. This is a bit of a mental and a skill set developmental training. So I'm going to post this video, have my team post it on both channels. It's going to be on the main channel for the Wealth Wells training education. It's also going to be on the Wealth Wells podcast, where you can listen to the skill development here. And we're going to talk for a moment here about a topic that is very it catches nearly every trader, but some traders can never get past it. All right. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor, like and subscribe both channels. Find us on YouTube, the Wealth Wells. That's our trading channel. That's where I post my live recordings from the Discord, all of my long content, long form training. And then of course the Wealth Wells podcast, that's the mental and skill development. All right. So let me help you out here. You can go over to the Wealth Wells channel here on YouTube, and you can just click subscribe here. There you go. So if you type in the Wealth Wells channel or the Wealth Wells, you'll find our channel there. That's where all of my training videos, how-to videos, lives, recaps, strategies, setups, all that stuff is there. The deeper stuff is going to be found inside of my courses. We'll get to that later. And then, so like and subscribe this channel here. And then, of course, the Wealth Wells podcast channel right here. And this is going to be all of the mindset, mental development. Now, there's a series that I do, Mindset Mondays and Back Pocket Knowledge. And these are all of the different nuances, those mental skills that you need to improve your skill set as a day trader. You're gonna get them right here. Now, if you think for a second you're going to get better in the market without developing your mindset first and foremost, then you are sadly mistaken. And quite frankly, the topic of this video, the topic of this training is really 100% based on mindset. I am going to give you some mechanical, some skill-based things that you can do to improve, but you're going to want to subscribe to both channels, the Wealth Wells and then the Wealth Wells podcast. All right, so without further ado, let's get to it. So you keep moving your stop loss, huh? You have a problem sliding it, either whether you're in profit or not, and you can't fix that nasty habit. Now, it's interesting because most people, when they start to trade, they're super excited. They think that they're going to make a lot of money. They think this thing is so easy, and they completely disregard the mechanics and the risk management, and they also disregard the mental side of things. So we're going to talk about that right now. I'm going to help you with understanding why you keep moving your stop loss, and then I'm going to give you a fix for not moving your stop loss. All right. So likely you found this video because, whether you win or lose, you have a target, or you're getting in a trade, and the trade can, either be profitable, and you keep moving your stop loss only for the trade to retrace a little bit and grab you, and for you to make less profits than you would have made had you hit your primary target at the top of the apex of the move, right? Or if you're negative, right? You're negative a little bit, and you're thinking, well, maybe I can let this trade breathe or relax a little bit or stretch out a little bit more, and you keep doing that and keep doing that, only to be deeper in the hole, and you have no real defined level. Has that ever happened to you? All right, well, at some point, it's happened to everybody, okay? So let's talk about why you always move your stop loss, all right? Now, we're going to get down to 5 elements. Now, these elements are going to hit you to the core. You guys know me at this point. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to demonstrate some behaviors on the screen. I'm going to talk through it. Now, I'm talking through it for those who are just listening to the podcast, and I'm going to demonstrate for all those logged in right now to the live that's watching me do the live training here, okay? So, number 1, why do you always move your stop loss? All right, so in case you haven't noticed, that trading is more about the mindset than anything. It could be said 90% mental. Here's why. If you came into my Discord at any time and you've taken any of my training here, you know that I've got setups and I've got core training. The setups anyone can take, the core training anyone can take, but you have to take it in order, right? And then you can get down to the futures. You can even trade with me live, just me and you. I mean, there's so many different things that I can do with you to help you. But at the end of the day, I cannot make you do anything, and I can't adjust your mind, right? I can't, or should I say, I can't, give you my brain. You've got to work it. You've got to develop it. But unfortunately, the things that you've gone through in the past affect your view of the market. All right. So let's go over a couple things right now. This is the reason why you keep moving your stop loss. Now, we already identified the scenarios before, right? The scenario is, hey, you get into a trade, it goes into profit, you keep dancing your stop only to get stopped out, you don't get as much money. Or, hey, you're negative, it keeps going deeper and deeper negative, you keep sliding your stop loss, and then you just end up really blowing your account, or you're losing a trade, feeling terrible. All right, here's why. Number one, your view of money. Your view of money matters. How you feel about money, what you think about money, it all matters. Do you think money's going to fix all your problems? If you made a lot of money, what would you do with it? Right? Would you tell people? Would you turn prideful and arrogant? Would you start being a jerk? All right? Do you want to prove to someone, or maybe even yourself, hey, I can do this? Well, what's the real reason? Because until you do a self analysis or a SWOT assessment of yourself, you are not going to get to the root, and you will not fix this problem no matter what you think. Now, if you think for a second that professional day traders, Wall Street, they don't have professional coaches, then you're mistaken. You should do some research, because the reality is they all have some type of developmental coach to help them get to the next level from the mental perspective. Okay. But the first thing, the reason why you keep moving your stop losses is because you have a skewed view of money, right? You think that this money is going to bring you happiness, joy. It's going to solve your problems. It's your way out, all this stuff. And so what happens is two emotions kick in there. The two emotions that's tied to, people making mistakes in the market, and that's fear and greed, right? So here's the fear side. You hate to lose. That's the reality. You move your stop loss because you hate to lose. Now, there are some underlying traits that's tied to that. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you hate to lose. That's why you keep moving it. That's why you keep adjusting it. You also move your stop loss because you are greedy, period. You're not satisfied with just taking it from target to target, making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% per trade. Oh, no. You've looked on YouTube. You've seen all of the folks that you think are making a lot of money. You've never met them in person. You've never talked to them, but you think that they're just so great. And now I can do that. I can do 300%, 400%. Yeah. Okay. All right, buddy. Listen, you can do it. It can happen, no doubt about it. But the reality is you have to control yourself, and you're greedy. All right. Now, that's the number one thing, your view of money. If you view money as a tool, then you will use the market as a tool. And a tool is simply designed to complete one task. A tool cannot complete many tasks, right? A tool is just designed to help you or assist you in creating something bigger. That's all the market is designed to do. It's designed to help you create something bigger. If your end goal, if your final finale, your swan song is the market, then I'm going to tell you, you're going to fail. Because the market should lead you, should allow you to build something bigger. All right. So your view of money is why you keep moving your stop loss. You need to attack fear and greed. Number two, lack of defined targets. Now, for those of you guys who are logged in into the live, I'm going to do some demonstration on the screen, and I'm going to try to explain it for the podcast a little bit better as well, so that you can get the visual. All right. But the number two reason why you keep moving your stop loss is because you have a lack of defined targets. Now, that's tied to training. So here is the plug for training. All right. Number one, there's a link attached to this video. You can get my setups, anyone can, or you can take the training in order. I prefer you take the training in order and then get the setups. It'll make a lot of sense. But folks are making substantial profits just with the setups alone. I mean, I'm doing this training midday live for you guys, okay? And we've already been extremely profitable, all right? Extremely profitable. Let me just bring over into the private channel. Here you go. 4 for 4 for the morning, right? With 2 extra future trades, long holds there, banked. Nice, profitable morning. Folks making a lot of money as well. You can see folks, responding here, being profitable. So solid day. How do we get these green days every day? Well, we have defined targets. How do you learn how to get defined targets? Get training. Now, you don't have to get training from me. I prefer you do, but you don't. As long as you understand the number one question when we're trading, it's where we're going. All right. So you can get the setups here. You can get the doji play. You can get the areas of interest, or you can just go ahead and just take all the trade. It's up to you. But the reality is at some point, you're going to need to come around to the fact that you got to have a defined target. So how do we get some defined targets? Well, I'm going to give you 2 very basic ways to get defined targets. That's going to help you. Now, the first way is you need to understand how to chart, right? And charting is covered in training number 1, VVP charting. It's not the same charting as everyone else. There's a specific method to how I chart, which is why my levels are so fire. All right, you don't believe me? Come into the Discord. You can see for yourself. That's number 1. And in doing that, I use something called the VVP indicator. Now, the VVP indicator is a digital algorithm that's running behind the screen to plot what I want to see on the screen for my system, my trading, and it looks a little something like this. There's the VVP indicator. Now, you can see I've got many levels, and I've got automatic levels and signals appearing on the screen as I trade, not a lagging indicator, as I trade. And all I want to do is combine all 3 elements: volume, volatility, price action. I want to combine all 3 elements, the pillars of day trading, into my trading system, my style when I enter and exit, using my indicators, just the volume. And man, oh man, I've got something gold, right? So when you look at my screen, you will see targets. You'll see targets. Now, all you have to do is understand where we're going, understand market context, get some training, and be satisfied with taking your trade from target to target. All right. So the first indicator that's going to give me the targets is going to help me understand market sentiment. That's the VVP indicator. After I use the VVP indicator, or in addition to that, I'm going to use the volume profile, the Wealth Wells volume profile. Mine is a little bit different. Now, let me explain this one to you. All right. So the VVP indicator is going to give me the actual levels and targets in harmony with my own static levels. The volume profile is going to tell me how the market is shifting. You see these 2 colored areas right here, and I detail this inside of the indicators channel here. So if you were to come into the Discord and you wanted to get a hold, I'll put the links to these indicators and some other helpful links, books and suggestions. I'll put that in this training, and I'll try to do it on both channels. Okay. But if you want to get the goods, you got to come inside the Discord, and then you can hit this channel right here, indicators. And in the channel, I've got a how-to video here. All right. And then I've got the actual indicators that you can get a hold of. They have a subscription there. They're nominal, or they're nominally priced. They're nothing crazy, but there's coding that goes into these things. There's updates, all that stuff. Right. So that contributes toward that. But the idea here is that you understand where to go, and you understand what you're looking at. We even got a cheat sheet, help sheets to use these things to help you. Right. And then you can, be on your way. But the VVP indicator tells me the levels, in addition to my own proprietary levels. And then the volume profile tells me when the market is going to shift. Now, this is indicative of static volume, right? Just the volume based on the time frame that I'm watching. I'm on a 3-minute chart, so I see the gray shaded area. That's the overall volume. But buy-sell pressure is what I'm concerned with, right? And I go into deep details about level 2 like data, level 2 data, buy-sell pressure when I train on how to read the tape. That's covered in Advanced Strategies training number 4. You can't get to that. This is where the secret sauce is, down here. Can't get to it unless you go down the stack, but I'm going to give you a little bit now. When I see the volume shifting and the sell buy sell pressure shifting, in addition to my levels, this can give me the strength of a move to know whether or not now I'm going to get a 2, 3, 4, 5 candle break, where I'm going, and I simply just take it level to level. All right. So those are the 2 indicators I'm going to be using in addition to volume by time at the bottom. Those are the 2 indicators I'm going to be using. At the bottom, there you go. There's the volume by time indicator, and it's a standard volume indicator. We also have one that's a little special for the Discord that everyone can get a hold of. There's no subscription or anything tied to that. And as we adjust it, there are some special features that I'm going to bring out with this indicator that we will make accessible to others based on access. But the idea here is these 3 things combined. I have a blank, clean screen, and it tells me what the market is doing, when I should hold, short, long, what I should do. And here's the secret. I have a defined target. I know every time, every second of the day where we're going. Be it on the 3-minute, the 5-minute, the 40, 30, 40, it doesn't matter. You need to know where you're going, have a defined target. Now, here's a beautiful example. All right. Now, as we ran up today, right, we held. Now, in the Discord, I clearly said that on SPX, there would be some hold volume at 4,400. And I knew that we would get a buy up, and we did. We certainly got a buy up, but it doesn't mean that we're going to the moon, right? Now, what's crazy is you can clearly see that there's sell volume here, a little bit of buy volume, but there's not really a lot of action going on up there, right? Above it. So if you were to go up to just a a reasonable time frame, 5 minutes, and you can see all the sale volume up there. Then you see the move is exhausted. You also have a level here, automatic levels that appear as you're trading. Well, what prevents you from trading off of this level? From level to level. You see that? Level to level. Super simple. Now, here's the problem. Well, your view of money is making you hold this thing longer than what you need to be. So you got to fix that. I'll tell you how to fix that in the end, okay? Now, let's get these off the screen and let's talk about what else is hindering you from getting to the next level, all right? So that's the two things so far. We've got view of money, either fear and greed, and we've got lack of defined targets, okay? The third thing that is the cause of you moving your stop loss is, and you might not, really understand this one, but you need to, is your lack of understanding of market sentiment. You don't understand what's driving the market and the tonality of the market for that day, week, and month. Now, here's what I mean. All right, let's go out. Again, we're going to go back. For those of you guys listening on the podcast, I'm looking at a daily chart. We're going to go out to a daily chart. All right, let's go out to a daily chart. You know what? I'm going to give you a nice little cheat sheet here. Let's go out to a daily chart. And how about this? How about we go over to ES, right? All right, let's take some of these levels off here. Daily chart. And all we're going to do is we're going to go to a daily chart and we're going to just put the volume profile, the Wealth Wells volume profile on the screen. All right, here's the VP right there. Boom. Okay. Now, anyone in the Discord knows that I said specifically earlier today, 4417, which is right there, 4414, we've got some buy volumes in there. Do you see the buy volume? I'm on a daily chart. Now, we could go weekly, we could go monthly, we could do some multi-time frame analysis, which is what we teach in this training right here, understanding what pre-market, right? That's one of them. And then volume levels, that's another one, understanding there. But we get down to the ins and outs of this stuff, all right? So you know that there's going to be some pops. You know that we're going to come down to this area, but we're not getting through this area easily. It's going to take us some time, right? So you should be prepared. It means that your risk should be low. You should cover yourself, protect yourself, maybe have a tighter stop loss so that you don't get caught into reversals, etc. But ultimately, you know that underneath this area, there's not a whole lot of volume. Volume needs to shift around for us to blow through it. Well, in addition to that, you will also know that, all right, if I add on top of that training number, 3, pre-market, and I know that Katie has, many different tickers and things that he's looking at to help him understand sentiment, and you layer all of that on top of there, then you should be able to predict. You should be able to predict, all right, once we break down from here, I have my next target. All right. That's in addition to everything we talk about in training number 3, that is how you read and understand market sentiment. All right. So if you don't understand market sentiment, you can never answer the most important question in day trading. The most important question right before and while you're in a trade is, where are we going? If you can't answer that, you have no business in a trade. If you can't define where we're going, you've got no business touching this stuff. Leave it alone until you can answer that every time. That's number 3. All right. So number 1, view of money, fear and greed. That's making you move your stop loss. Number 2, you don't have a defined target. Lack of defined target, you're moving your stop loss because you don't know where we're going. Lack of market sentiment, you don't understand the high level view of things. And then the last 2, they might hit you to the core. Now we're going to talk for a minute about these 2. You might, now listen, all right, you guys know how I am. I just keep it real with you for those who've stuck around this long. If you haven't stuck around this long, you probably need to, right? You probably need to. That's the reason you keep losing. All right. Now, the reason you keep moving your stop loss, number 4, is pride and arrogance. Pride. You think that you're going to win every single time. Deep down inside, you're not even prepared to take a loss. You think every trade's going to work out, and you're so prideful that you haven't really done the due diligence. You haven't really done the practice and prep work for the day. You really haven't taken the steps necessary in order to protect yourself. Now, that's a little prideful, don't you think? It's a little prideful to think that, hey, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. I don't have to protect myself. I don't have to do anything. A little prideful, don't you think? I think so. So what will help you with that? Well, you lose a lot enough, you'll develop some humility. There's not one person in the market that's successful in the market that doesn't respect the market. All right, you should always respect. You can't fear it, but you definitely should respect it. So getting some experience, getting some training and development, that's going to help you with the pride portion. All right. Now here's number 5, and this goes along with pride. It's stupidity or ignorance. Now just hear me out now. All right. Stupidity or ignorance. Now these are not, unless the shoe fits in some context, these aren't disrespectful terms to you. When a person is stupid, all right, they know something, but they choose to move forward irrespective of the information that they've gathered, right? That's a stupid person. That's a stupid trader, a stupid person in general. So if you are a stupid trader, stupid person, what have you, then there's no one that can help you. Stupidity is just, you're just stupid, right? But if you're ignorant, if you simply don't know, then that can be fixed. That can be fixed with training and development and etc. So you have to define which person are you. After seeing all the evidence on the screen, there's sell volume there, and there's a level there, and there's this and there's that. Are you still holding on to your calls that you got into way up here at the top? Or have you read the room, so to speak? Have you understood? Do you understand market sentiment? Do you understand what's happening in the market? All right. So you always move your stop loss. We've discussed 4 things. Why you keep moving your stop loss. Your view of money is skewed. You have fear or greed nipping at you. You lack defined targets. You lack market sentiment, understanding of that. You have an immense amount of pride, and there's stupidity or ignorance there, meaning you completely disregard the information that you've collected, or you don't know how to make a decision based on the information that you collect. All right, what's the fix? I saved the best for last. How do I fix someone from moving their stop loss all the time? What if I'm moving it? If you're using, you're the person that's listening to me right now. What if you're the person, right? You're like, man, I keep moving it. I cannot. Well, I'm going to, first of all, help you with one thing, all right? You don't have to listen to me, but what you can do is you can find my channel, all right? The Wealth Wells podcast. You don't even have to go to my trading channel. Just find the Wealth Wells podcast. It's an audio channel. This is one of the first videos I'm going to put on there for training. All right. But this is designed for the mind. Okay. Listen to these. Listen to the mental development in these episodes and series, and that's going to help you, number 1. Then you need to get into a continuous education program. That's the Killer Wells channel here inside of my community. But even if you don't do that, this is just free game out here, folks. That's up to you. All right. I'm going to give you 2 things to work on. All right. 2 things that will help you. All right. To stop moving your stop loss. The first thing is limit your trade count per day and week. Limit your trade count. All right. The reason why people move their stop is because they think subconsciously you're thinking this is endless, right? I can make as much money. I can keep going and keep trading. But the reality is, just like you have defined targets, you should have defined times to trade, right? Now, I teach traders how to follow and look for different metrics, time to target, time and trade, etc., and to write those metrics down in the Wealth Wells 90-day day trading journal. One of the things that you should be governing yourself with is the time that you spend in the market per week and per day. Some traders only trade the morning session. Other traders only trade the afternoon session. All right, it's up to you. Some traders, only trade the first open. Some traders trade the close. It's up to you. Some traders say they don't trade every single day. That's fine. I disagree with that, but that's fine. It's up to you. The reality is, though, you need to have a trade count. And that trade count needs to be daily and weekly. Meaning, if I know that I'm only going to take 35 trades, all right? If you've looked at anyone been following me for any amount of time, you know I'm anywhere from 30 to 40 trades typically throughout the week, right? And let's say for some unknown reason, something's off, and by Thursday, I'm at 33 trades. Then guess how many trades I can take Friday? Can only take 2. Why? Because I will have exceeded my trade frequency, and the math says that I'm not going to do too well once I start to exceed my trade frequency. Now, the only way you come to that conclusion is if you start getting the right metrics, right? So that's the first thing. Limit your trade count. Limiting your trade count will let's just say you limit your trade count to 3 trades a day, right? And you took this trade right here, this move right here, right? Well, if you took the move to the downside, limiting your trade count would force you to leave this thing alone until it hits your target. What I see so many times with so many traders, man, I've seen it ad nauseum, is they break this trade up. This is one solid trade, but you saw the sell pressure there, for crying out loud. You know we're coming down. If you have the VVP indicator and if you have the Wealth Wells, volume profile, we're coming down. But, they break it up into 10 trades. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. When all you have to do is get in your trade, leave this thing alone, target to target, level to level. That's number one. Number two is get mental coaching. Get some development. All right, if you're following a guy or girl online for trading suggestions, that's fine. But at some point, that trader just has to be a superior trader to help you with the mental side of things. You're not going to get out of your own way just by watching YouTube and trying to, follow different strategies and lagging indicators. It just doesn't work that way. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. I know this is not a popular statement. This guy doesn't use lagging indicators. He doesn't use supply and demand. He doesn't use patterns. Okay. I know that may not be popular, but you can come into the Discord. And for those of you guys who are listening on the live right now, then you can click KD's trades and you can track me, my spreadsheet, my trades, all that stuff. And this stuff has been released per your request. Traders have said, hey, I'd like to see this. Okay, no problem. When you ask, I'll give it to you. No problem. Now, I don't always win. There's a trade here and there that I lose. Out of 30, 35 trades, I'm going to lose between 3 and 4, 3 and 5 trades, right? That's the way it is with me. However, I still have enough understanding of where to put my stop loss, all right? So that's what I'm trying to help you guys with, all right? This has just been a little bit of a chat. Hopefully this has been beneficial and helpful for you guys. And we've kind of gone over some things to help you. Now let's recap. You keep moving your stop loss. I know that you probably clicked on this video and you wanted to hear, get right to it. Give me 2, 3 things. And well, that's why you're failing, because it's more than that. The reason you always move is because of 5 things, and you fit into one of these categories. If you clicked on this video, you fit into one of them. Number 1, your view of money is skewed. Either fear and greed. One of those are nipping at your heels. Number 2, lack of defined targets. You don't have a defined target. You don't know where you're going. Number 3, lack of understanding from market sentiment. You don't really understand holistically at a high level what the market wants to do this week, month, and year. Then after that, number 4, pride and arrogance. You may just flat out be prideful. I am not going to lose no matter what. I'm going to hold on to this. Hey, that'll kill you. And then number 5, stupidity or ignorance. Either you have the data and you choose to not follow it, hey, I'm just going to ignore it. That's a stupid person. Have the facts in front of them, yet they go right on ahead and just burn themselves. Or you are ignorant to what you should be looking at, right? Now, one of those things I can fix. The other one only you can work on, all right? Do us a favor. Do yourself a favor. There's 2 channels that you need to be, that I'd like you to take a look at. Now, of course, this one is going to be posted. This is probably one of the only videos I'll post in 2 different channels here. And I'm only doing that to help those who, on the audio side, when you want to get the mental development, you can get it. All right. So that's the Wealth Wells Day Trading Podcast. All right. So the first channel is the day trading podcast that you want to log into every single week. There's a new episode there for mental development. And then, of course, you can hit the refreshers there. All right. And then the second one will be the training channel here to help you understand how to, check those X's and O's and what to do when you're trading. All right. It's been a pleasure with you guys. Listen, I'm going to help you with something that someone helped me with long time ago. All right. What gets measured gets improved. What gets measured gets improved. Meaning, if you learn how to measure and quantify your activities in the market, don't just write down wins and losses. You need to understand and have a plan of action. Have someone help you measure your success. Measure the mental development. Measure the skill development. If you do that, you are going to be unstoppable. All right. It's been a pleasure. Like and subscribe to videos, folks. KD for the Wealth Wells, signing out.